Hi guys, Robert Horovitz here, naturopathic doctor from lifelongwell.ca, Canada's super premium online health food store, where we only carry ultra premium products of the highest quality. Last video I was talking about a little bit about gluten, and I proposed the idea that gluten might not necessarily be the culprit. There's no question that gluten can cause havoc in the body. People respond to gluten even if they're not celiac. You can still have a sensitivity to gluten, right? If your immune system reacts to it, you can get a plethora of different symptoms from it. Some people might get a rash. Some people might get digestive upset. I know for myself, when I eat wheat or wheat products, I get incredibly bloated. And it's not fat, it's just bloating. I have a hard time digesting wheat products in general. Now, is that the gluten? Maybe. It could be the gluten in there. But why are we reacting to gluten? That's the bigger question, okay? It's not necessarily the gluten. Just because you make something gluten-free does not mean you will not react to that product. For example, if I buy gluten-free cookies, I just love cookies, but I can't eat them because they have gluten, and I buy gluten-free cookies, I still get bloated a lot of the times. You know, it still contains sticky, starchy ingredients that are weird, I find. Don't you? You know, have a look at the ingredients. I think the broader question to be asking is why gluten is causing all of these problems, okay? And an incredibly partial answer, at least, is to look at the digestive system, okay? Not only is your digestive tract digesting food, but it's responsible for assimilating nutrients into your bloodstream and then going where it should go, into your cells, so you can function properly. But it's incredibly selective, as we spoke about in the last video. Now, if something disrupts your ability to be selective, and all of a sudden things from food, items, proteins, right, just like gluten, is able to get through your digestive tract, okay, where it's not supposed to go, that's basically a simplified way of explaining it, your immune system can respond to it in a very negative way and cause havoc, okay? So one person might get psoriasis or eczema. I'm not saying that psoriasis and eczema is caused by gluten. I'm just simply saying that people, if you react to something in your food, you can react to it differently because everybody's immune system is different and it responds differently, okay? Now, some of the reasons we spoke about were things like constipation, diarrhea. If you have chronic constipation, chronic diarrhea, and you're disrupting the way you're digesting food and you're eliminating, right, that can cause inflammation. Think of it, if you're constipated and your stool is solid, it's hard as a rock, it's like cement, think of that stool just scraping along your digestive tract. Even just thinking about that scraping, I sort of get upset just thinking about it. But anyways, it's scraping along your digestive tract. It causes inflammation, right? As you could just imagine, it causes inflammation. Cells begin to sort of get disrupted. You have a lot of inflammation there, and all of a sudden proteins and things from your food can get through. If you're eating a lot of wheat, right? If you're eating a lot of bread products, gluten can get through, and you might develop a food sensitivity over time to gluten, you know. And the other important thing to note is it might not even be gluten in bread. If you eat a lot of, let's say, dairy products, okay, you might start to be sensitive to certain proteins there, like casein or something else in the dairy. Or if you eat, you know, peanut butter every single day, then, you know, peanut butter is flowing through your digestive tract. More likely something from the peanut butter or something from whatever food you're consuming in high quantities is more likely to get through. Something from that food might get through and cause havoc. Now, before I finish this video, I want to just show you something incredibly important when you look at your bread products, okay? Before looking at gluten, here's a tip. Read the ingredient list, okay? I'm going to speak more in depth in the next video. When you look at these products, and this ingredient list here is that I'm going to show right here, okay? I'm going to try and zoom it in so give you guys like a lot of space. Okay, so you should have it like there in big. I'm not going to mention the company name, but you should see the ingredient list. You see those ingredients over there? Those are not natural. I mean, what are they doing in your bread? Okay, that's a 12-grain bread. These are superfood breads, that, or at least advertised superfoods, that should not have these ingredients in whatsoever. You have mono and diglycerides. Mono and diglycerides are isolated derivatives from corn, okay? In order to get these things out of corn, you have to use typically harsh chemicals and possibly heat. And usually corn that's being used is genetically modified, okay, unless it says non-GMO project verified on it. You know, it's probably genetically modified, which is a whole other ballgame. And so when you're looking at your bread, it could be a lot of these additives, these preservatives that end up causing inflammation in the digestive tract. And although I'm not saying food sensitivities are caused by GMO, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they're caused by monodiglycerides, but what I am saying is if you have inflammation in the digestive tract, it destroys some of those cells that line your digestive tract and make it so that you can selectively choose what to take from your food and what not to take from your food. If that system gets disrupted, then you are more likely to let things from your food in that should not, and you could potentially get food sensitivities from it, okay? I hope that makes sense. Hit me up in the comments. Share this if you found any value in this whatsoever. If you're looking for super nutrient-dense foods, naturally gluten-free, of course, it's at lifelongwell.ca. You'll find only super premium products on there. There's a 10% off and a $5 worth in points if you sign up for the rewards program. So again, I'm Robert Horovitz from lifelongwell.ca, naturopathic doctor, and I'll see you in the next video where we dive into a little bit about genetically modified foods and wheat.